I gave a command, you give a reply.
Aye, sir.
Say aye, sir.
Aye, sir.
You have a volume problem, right?
No, sir. I know it's late. I know you want to go to sleep, but you have to see my story tonight. I went to Paris Island where young men and women train to become United States Marines. I actually went through training myself. That story is coming up for you in 12 minutes.
Plus, nearly 3,000 students will be starting school at a different time next year. And that decision has some parents fuming. And
a new medical marijuana clinic is creating a buzz on Jacksonville Beach. We'll have what lawmakers have been doing this week to restrict what's behind these doors.
And have you seen this picture? A baby born holding an IUD in his hand? So is it real or fake? First Coast News at 11 starts now. And we start with breaking news off the top at First Coast News at 11. Expect a lot of smoke in the morning in Clay County as a result of two wildfires. I just got off the phone with the Clay County Fire Department, and a dispatcher tells me that both the Pine Ridge Parkway Buggy Whip Fire in Middleburg and the Crowell Bayard Fire south of Green Cove Springs are now 100% contained. Crews, though, will be back out in the morning doing mop-up. The Pine Ridge fire grew to 36 acres. The fire on Buggy Whip was smaller, but earlier tonight it did keep some residents away from their homes. Now, what you're looking at is new video of that fire from the Forestry Service. Tonight, it is still burning within the containment lines. Well, new tonight, big changes for students in Putnam County. School start times will be changing for elementary, middle, and high school students.
So some parents are very upset tonight. Others think, well, it's just not really that big of a deal. So we sent First Coast News reporter Stephen Dial to Putnam County to get the story.
Next school year, some Putnam County parents will be waking up a little earlier because the school board voted to change school times for elementary and high school students. We talked to a lot of people in the community, and there are mixed views.
We want to increase our graduation rates, increase attendance.
Inside the CL Overturf Auditorium, parents were focused on their students' performance. But outside, the talk of the town was a major change in school time.
We've done research and found that secondary school students do better in school when they can sleep later and they have more sleep.
Rick Surrency is the Putnam County Superintendent. Tuesday, the school board voted to change school times. Middle and high school students will now go to class at 9 a.m. instead of 7:50 a.m. And elementary school students will go in at 7:50 a.m. instead of 9 a.m.
Do you think it's needed to change the times?
No, I don't. I really don't.
Parents sounded off on social media about the change. Larry Batts says it will create more headache for him in the morning.
It's hard for me to get to the school just dropping them off at 8 o'clock.
Sorensen hopes parents will adjust and do what's best for the students.
I know that puts an inconvenience on a lot of our parents, especially with transportation and kids waiting at the bus stop, especially young kids. But we're just going to ask our parents to, work with us, make arrangements.
Again, those changes go into effect next school year, so you don't have to wake up a little early for the last few weeks of school. Reporting from Putnam County and Palatka, Stephen Dial, First Coast News.
Now, we checked the start times for other school districts in our area. Both Duval and St. Johns County elementary schools start at 8:30. High school students in Duval start at 7:15, and high schoolers in St. Johns County begin at 9:15.
So listen to this. The opioid epidemic has gotten so bad across Florida, Governor Rick Scott declared a public health emergency today. St. Johns County has even started equipping its deputies with Narcan. Narcan is a nasal spray that emergency responders typically use on people who've overdosed on drugs. It blocks or reverses the effects of the drug. Today we spoke with Chuck Mulligan with the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office about the move to equip deputies with this life-saving medication.
Many times law enforcement is on scene ahead of fire rescue. There's just simply more of us, and we're constantly moving around in the community. So on certain days we might be a block away when the call comes out, and we can administer a dose of this and potentially save a life.
And we found out the Sheriff's Office spent more than $10,000 for this life-saving drug.
A dispute after a game of poker has a Jacksonville police officer facing criminal charges tonight. Officer Tommy Bailey is accused of pulling a gun on someone outside of Best Bet in Orange Park. Police say that Bailey was off duty and playing poker when he got into a confrontation with someone. As that man was walking out of the building, Bailey allegedly pointed a gun at the man's back and asked if he had a problem. Bailey is now on unpaid leave.
Florida lawmakers are making progress on a bill banning medical marijuana if it is smoked. But you may remember voters approved the law back in November. First Coast News reporter Julia Janae is live at the site of one of the newest clinics for the drug on the First Coast, and she joins us now live with more.
That's right, guys. This 81-page bill is making its way through the legislature as lawmakers try to balance giving patients access to treatment with those restrictions for the drug. Meanwhile, new clinics like this one here in Jacksonville Beach, they are saying that in the future they expect to grow. Over 70% of voters agreed in favor of medical marijuana use in November. Now Florida representatives have until July to set the rules.
We're just kind of waiting to see what the final law is when they vote it in.
Dr. Joseph Dorn co-founded the Medical Marijuana Treatment Clinics of Florida. This is their first storefront in Jacksonville.
It's hard to imagine, but there are still many people that don't even know that it's legal here in Florida. There are a few people who are just totally against it, and there are a lot of physicians who actually don't know much about it either.
Patients are evaluated by a medical doctor here at their 3rd Street location. Dorn says the most common qualifying conditions are multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, and HIV.
It depends on the office location. Areas where there are a lot of veterans, we seem to have a lot of PTSDs.
House Bill 1397 underwent major changes, making it easier for doctors to get trained, but it does require a prescription, which could put a physician's license at risk. The bill also bans cannabis smoking.
Smoking, almost any substance, is not healthy because it's noxious to the lungs.
But there are alternatives.
There's pills, there's capsules, there's topical cream, and one company even has suppositories. So
Dorn also recommends vaping, something recently okayed by the bill. He estimates 15,000 Floridians have already qualified for a medical marijuana card. Now again, this new bill passed the House yesterday, 105 to 9 votes, and now it's in the hand of the Florida Senate for review, giving them only a few days to try and save this bill before the legislative session ends. For now, reporting live from Jacksonville's Beach, Julia Janae, First Coast News.
Okay, now to some video you just have to see. A First Coast News viewer got this on camera. Look at this bear. This was behind Chili's in Bartram Trail today. Michelle Liana says she immediately called Florida Fish and Wildlife. Now this comes just a day after we spoke to a family in the Mandarin area who spotted a bear feet away from their trash cans. And on Friday night, I saw a black bear right off of County Road 210. There have been at least 8 bear sightings in St. Johns County just since late April. Well, tonight, a follow-up to a story we first brought you last night. A beloved music director will soon be out of a job. The Jacksonville Symphony sent a letter to parents of the youth orchestra that Scott Gregg would be retiring. Gregg, though, says he was not planning on retiring. And today, the Jacksonville Symphony president and CEO, Robert Massey, apologized for the confusion that their initial letter to parents created.
As First Coast News reporter Hani Rodriguez reports, they have sent out a new email to parents explaining that Gregg's contract will not be renewed.
He was on a 1-year contract, and a stipulation of that contract mandated that notification of renewal or non-renewal would be made by May 1st.
That's when Scott Gregg was notified his contract would not be renewed. Meanwhile, parents received this email informing them their longtime music director was retiring, and they were furious.
Yes, we used the word retire. In reality, we were not renewing his contract. We felt that after 22 years of great service, we wanted to honor and celebrate his accomplishments. And unfortunately, the word choice on our end was not appreciated.
Massey tells me he apologizes for the confusion.
I know very much the hurt that they're feeling. I remember when my youth orchestra switched conductors on me, and it's a very difficult time.
A time Scott Gregg says has in fact been very difficult, but says something good has come of what's happened.
Thank you to everybody that wrote in and has contacted me up to this point. It's been amazing. Even current JSO musicians have been incredibly generous.
But Gregg says he still feels unsatisfied.
They'll hear from council very shortly, and hopefully we'll get to settle this amicably.
Massey couldn't comment on why Gregg's contract will not be renewed, but he said the orchestra is growing and changes needed to be made.
We have determined that we need to increase our conducting staff, and because of this structural change, the part-time Jacksonville Symphony Youth Orchestra position is being eliminated.
In Jacksonville, I'm Honey Rodriguez, First Coast News.
So last night we told you about a petition created by a student to bring back Greg. Well, we know that petition now has more than 400 signatures. The organization is encouraging the community to come out and support Scott Gregg's last concert. That's on May 14th. All right, this next story, I have been working on it for a while, and I tell you, I have a new respect for the military. In just 2 minutes, I travel all the way up I-95 to Parris Island to see what it's like to become a United States Marine. That story coming up right after this break.
I just watched it. It is worth staying up to see. Plus, some big changes proposed for those of you who get overtime pay. What employers could be able to offer you in the near future instead of paying you.
Here on the First Coast, we are proud of our military men and women. I have so much respect for all of you. I have family members who have served, and as a reporter, I've traveled to Iraq and seen firsthand what these brave men and women do to protect our country. A few weeks ago, I was invited to go to Parris Island in South Carolina to see what it takes to become a United States Marine. I traveled with a group of teachers from Jacksonville. They went to Parris Island to see what it's like so they could educate their students here at home who may be considering a career in the military. Tonight, I want to share that experience with you. Aye, sir.
You are now aboard Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Parris Island, South Carolina. Aye, sir. Your mouth is shut. This is the only position for which you'll speak to any Marines, sailors, or civilian on this depot. Do you understand? Aye, sir. All of you scream yes, sir. Aye, sir.
Every Marine recruit stands here on their first day. This is where the journey begins and lives are changed.
Got a week to get them ready for recruit training.
The first 6 to 10 days, processing and forming up platoons. The recruits get their gear and they're allowed to make one phone call to family, but they're very limited on what they can say. After that, actual training begins. The training cycle is broken down into 3 phases and lasts a total of 12 weeks. Our drill instructors demanded respect and discipline. Something I learned firsthand after not following orders.
I gave a command, you give a reply.
Aye, sir.
Say aye, sir.
Aye, sir.
You have a volume problem, right?
No,
You're about to
sir.
have 25 more volume problems with you.
From you, we demand the following. You must give 100% of yourself at all times.
This is where the recruits live during their training. Recruits are not allowed visitors, and they receive 1 hour a day of free time, 4 hours on Sunday. This free time is spent reading, writing letters, preparing uniforms, and preparing for the next day's training.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Push. 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 Hard backside. Straight. Hard backside. Straight.
Every Marine must pass marksmanship training before they graduate. And I'll be honest,
My time was short.
I don't think I did too well. Our morning started with us observing recruits going through training. By the time the sun was up, we found ourselves on the confidence course.
There you go. Come on, get up there.
Reason for the name? Well, it takes a lot of confidence to get through it.
I made it across that sucker.
I tried my best, and I have to say it was challenging. The teachers from Jacksonville also made their best effort.
Almost there, don't give up, don't give up.
It was very hard, very rigorous.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Someone else asked me like, man, how'd you do well on that? I was like, man, I just watched the guy that went before me and I learned from the guys that did it right and I learned from the guys that did it wrong.
But this is where a lot of us got nervous. It was time to rappel off this nearly 50-foot tower. Recruits don't attempt this until their 5th week. My first time jumping down, I actually got my hand caught in a latch and had to be lowered down. I thought I was going to call it quits, but one of the Marines encouraged me to give it a second try.
I think I'm going to try it one more time.
Once again, the beginning was a little rough, but I actually made it down on my own.
Hey! You going back up or not? I'm going.
My boot camp experience lasted just a few days. But for new Marines, it's 12 weeks. 12 weeks of training, a lifetime of honor. So I certainly have more respect for the men and women who serve. And tomorrow on Good Morning Jacksonville, I'm going to spotlight our female Marine recruits. It's important to point out their contributions. I had a chance to speak with one female Marine recruit who is right here from Jacksonville. In fact, she graduated from Mandarin High School. If you would like to learn more about what it takes to become a United States Marine, we have more on our website and completely a section actually devoted to this on our website, firstcoastnews.com.
Wow, it was so fascinating watching that, seeing what all they go through, and seeing you rappel down that wall. I know you came back with some bruises.
I did, actually. When you saw me smack that wall, there's also another shot where I did the same thing. And
gosh, so going through that training, you were there several days. What surprised you the most?
I knew it would be tough, and I have to admit, I only did this for 4 days. My version was a lot, I would say, watered down than what the Marine recruits actually go through, but it's so intense. And the drill instructors, they are right there with you in your face, making sure that you dot every I and cross every T.
Wow.
So once again, I have a new respect, but I love the discipline
very
that the
disciplined.
Marine Corps has.
Absolutely.
They definitely work together as one unit.
Well, we have lots of respect for all those Marines out there. Anthony, thank you. Well, would you rather have cash or time off? There is a new bill that would allow your boss to offer you a vacation day instead of paying you extra money. The U.S. House passed the bill this week. It would allow private sector employers to compensate their overtime working employees with paid time off instead of paying them time and a half, which is currently required. A lot of retailers, restaurants, and small businesses have lobbied for this idea for years now. Critics, though, say it's a move by businesses to simply avoid having to pay overtime. Okay, now to a story that has thousands of you talking on social media. This picture of a newborn holding a Mirena IUD. Some question whether the baby was actually born holding that birth control implant. Others said the picture's fake or it's photoshopped. Well, we verified on the 5 o'clock news tonight that the baby was born to a woman with an IUD implanted. That IUD, though, that you see in this picture was placed in the baby's hand after birth. It was apparently hiding under the placenta, and the nurse put the IUD in the baby's hand for that picture. So a lot of people now asking whether or not this form of birth control is effective.
99.9% effective. This woman was very lucky that when the placenta grew over the IUD, it did not disrupt the blood flow or anything to the placenta.
So the mother, Hyleen Tyler, told our Brittany Dion this was her 3rd time getting Mirena and that she's never had any problems before. She now tells us she has taken more permanent measures to prevent pregnancy. And we have a lot more on this story right now on firstcoastnews.com.
Once again, proof life will find a way. Okay, well, how about instead of smoke, how about clouds, moisture laden tomorrow? Maybe one of the best rounds of rain, scattered showers that we've had in a while. So let's go beyond the fact it's going to rain. I think at least 70% of us will have some significant showers. Who will be the wettest? Well, I think we're going to have some swaths of heavier rain from Lake City to the swamp, and this includes the swamp fire, maybe as much as an inch of rain. Metro area, about a third, no doubt about it. Numerically speaking, that's not going to bust the drought. But because I think we'll have at least that, if not more, and it will be widespread. That will help, and maybe another swath of almost 1 inch rains from Palatka on over to about St. Augustine, adding up everything that happens tomorrow afternoon through Friday morning. Here's the large area of thunderstorms and just plain old rain that continues to expand, and if anything, there's more spin and heavier motion along I-10 and eastward, and that's why with a little more confidence, most of us will receive some pretty significant downpours. Could there be some thunderstorms? Yes, there could be some thunderstorms. Might be some isolated severe thunderstorms. More of a risk from Waycross north as opposed to northeast Florida, but not a done deal as far as nothing with damaging thunderstorms over northeast Florida. So yes, we will watch that closely, but here it comes, a large area of showers and some thunderstorms, but then behind it a front that will provide us with a blustery Friday, but then what I think will be a beautiful weekend. Clear skies during the morning, classic early May days. We're going to take a break.